So very good evening. Let me check the audio. So am I audible? Hello. Am I audible? Okay. So welcome to day 5. Today is the last day in the app development bootcamp. I'm very happy to host you all today. And this bootcamp is powered by RIT Raghu Institute of Technology IEEE Student Branch and Madblocks Technologies Private Limited. So today I will be demonstrating two different use cases. One is database connectivity, as I said, because database is very important when you want to develop an application which is related to e-commerce, or which is related to having some registrations or related to event websites and all. So we need a database connectivity, which is very important if you want to build a moderate mobile applications, isn't it? So second, I will be talking about how to build a classifier. So by using that case, I will be showing you how to install a third party plugin. Okay, so far we have used all the components which are available in the app inventor, and I wanted to show you how to install a third party package into app inventor and and build some use cases on it. Okay, so let us quickly jump into the agenda. So I totally divide this session into 4 parts, where first one is database connectivity. So I just wanted to show you how to store data internally first. Okay, so some mobile applications will be having internal database, right? So they don't connect with internet. So without internet also some mobile application will work. So there people use internal database, they will not store data in cloud. So there is a tiny database which is available in app inventor, so which is used to store data internally. So I will be talking about it for a quick 20 minutes, and then I will be talking about a database where data will be stored in the cloud. So I will be taking Firebase database. This is a Google database. We will be pushing data to Firebase database, which is an external database where all the data will be stored in the cloud. And third, I wanted to use a service called visual recognition, because I wanted to design an AI classifier, which is a project related to artificial intelligence. Okay, sometimes people will do AI kind of projects, right, which is on artificial intelligence. So I will be using IBM cloud there. So I just wanted to build a mobile app which is used to identify an image. So here I will be talking about how to classify images by using a third party service, which is IBM. So I wanted to integrate the IBM service into the app inventor, because IBM service is not default in app inventor. So we just wanted to have a third party plugins. Okay, and I wanted to show you how to include a third party plugin into the app inventor, and then let us understand how to build applications on it. Okay, so this is a quick agenda. So this is a topic which I want to discuss on the final day, so which is related to the first half is related to database connectivity, and the second half it is related to the artificial intelligence. Okay, it can be a classifier, image classifier, which classifies the image which is given to IBM cloud there. So let's talk about in depth, okay, on each topic for a quick 20-25 minutes. So are you all following here? Okay, so nice. So let's talk about tiny database. So tiny database is nothing but an internal database, as I said. Sometimes you have to store data internally. So let us quickly understand how to create mobile application using this tiny database. So when you talk about database, what is database? Database is nothing but a place where your data will be stored. Okay. So now today, there will be two types of databases. One is called structured query language. Okay, structure where it follows certain structure in order to store your data, and second one is no SQL, which is like no structure query oriented. So it doesn't follows any certain structure. Okay, in no structure query language. But when you go for SQL, okay, when you go for structured query language, it follows certain structure. What is structure here? For example, say when you look at C programming language, if you want to store a value, in C programming language, you should talk about what is the data type that variable belongs to, right? So without declaring the variable, without talking about data type of the variable, we cannot assign a value in C programming language, right? Isn't it? So if you want to store a value like 2 in A, so you have to declare a syntax like, int A equal to 2. So then only you can store a value, in A, because we have mentioned A as integer data type there. So that is called where data type is fixed. So data type is fixed, where data type is static. But when you look at Python programming language, or when you look at Go programming language, okay, where variables are not declared. For example, say if you want to store a value called 2 in A, you can have a syntax like A equal to 2. Okay, there is no need of mentioning the data type when you have a variable, in Python or in Go programming language, whatever. So in Python, in the other set of programming languages wherein there is no need of mentioning the data type, right? So that is called dynamic initialization, where the memory allocation will be on dynamic. So here when you talk about database, where that is nothing but a place where your data will be stored. So when you focus on data, there will be different types of data, right? For example, say sometimes you will be storing sensory values. Say when you store a sensory value, sometimes it will be of integer data type, sometimes it will be a floating point data type, isn't it? So sometimes you'll be storing the messages. Say if you are chatting in the WhatsApp application, then what is happening there? All the messages in the WhatsApp will be stored in the internal database first of the WhatsApp application there. Okay, whenever it is connected with cloud, immediately the data which is stored in the WhatsApp internal database will be pushed to the external database there. So which indirectly means that, the messages, what is the data type of messages? Data type of messages is nothing but string data type. So here in structure query language, something like C programming language, it has to follow certain structure. We have to mention the data type. But when you look at tinydb or when you look at Firebase databases, they are not structure query oriented, okay? They are not structure oriented. It is like a dustbin. So for example, assume a rack in your wardrobe, okay? Assume there is a rack in your wardrobe and also dustbin. Okay, what is the difference between the rack in your wardrobe and dustbin there? In dustbin, we used to fill the dustbin in a irregular pattern, right? So sometimes you will be in a irregular pattern, you will be throwing all the covers, all the waste materials into the dustbin. We don't use a regular pattern, right? But when you go for a wardrobe, you will be inserting all your clothes, or you will be inserting all your items in a pattern, right? You will be following a regular pattern. So when you follow a regular pattern, that is called structure oriented. But when you look at the dustbin is an irregular pattern. Okay, sometimes you'll be you will be having a wet waste, you will be having a dry waste. Sometimes you'll have all the dust particles there into the dustbin where the pattern is irregular. So that is what the tinydb and the Firebase database are irregular based databases. They don't have any pattern there. So there is no point of declaration. In Python also, if you see, if you want to store a value, no need of talking about data type. But when you go for structure oriented programming language, for structure oriented, C is a structure oriented, right? So if you are aware of databases, there is a popular database which comes in our engineering also is MySQL. MySQL is very popular database wherein it follows a certain structure to store the data. But when you look at the tinydb or when you look at the Firebase database, they are no SQL database, so they don't follow any pattern. Okay, you can store any value which comes to your application. Okay, so there is no need of mentioning that I will be storing integer value or I will be storing float value. There is no need of mentioning the data type of the data which is going to store in the database. But when you look at structure query languages, if you want to store a value, prior you have to tell yes, this is a value that will be stored. Getting my point? So here let me quickly go through the concept of tinydb. Let me create a mobile application. let me show you that also. Okay, I'll show you the difference between NoSQL and SQL, and then we'll slowly jump into so let me show you the main difference. This needs a little concept to understand, because databases are very important in the mobile application, right? So if you want to have a dynamic web application, then obviously a database is very important. So let me open the admin panel of the database. So this is a database where you can store the data in the cloud. Okay, so I'll show you the difference between Firebase database and also MySQL. Okay, so let me have some, let me create a table. Okay, so all the data will be stored in the table format in NoSQL. So here if you see, if you want to store the data, say if you want to store the data, you have to create a table in NoSQL. Okay, this follows a certain structure. For example, say if you want to store a variable called a, if you want to store a variable called a, say if you want to store a value in a variable a, then you have to mention its data type. Without mentioning the data type, we cannot store the value. So this is called structure oriented. Okay, we have to mention the data type. So this is like a rack, so we cannot put all the class in a single rack, right? Say the nightwear we will be putting in one rack, jeans wear will be, the casual wear will be putting in one rack. So it means that we will be following some pattern. So that pattern is called structure oriented. If you want to store the value, then you have to mention its data type first, and then we can store the data. Okay, but when you look at the tinydb which is available here, they doesn't follow any structure. You can store integer value, or you can store a string value, or you can store a float value. It doesn't matter here, because the memory allocation for database in tinydb and Firebase database are dynamic in nature. When you keep adding your data, so the memory will be increasing there. Keeps increasing there. So it is like pay as you go. Okay, it's like pay as you go. When you keep using it, then obviously you'll getting data, you'll be getting bulk data, right? So when you get bulk data, then immediately at one point of time, you have to pay more as per the data which is available there. So when you look at this, we have to mention the data type. Then when you mention a value as text, which is string data type, always you have to store only string. If you store a different value here, then it will throw you an error. Okay, so here as per the data type only we have to store the value. But when you look at tinydb, or when you look at Firebase database, they doesn't bother about the data type at all. So when they doesn't bother about the data type, then obviously we will be using those kind of databases in the real time scenario. So in the mobile applications, we will be using a dynamic database only. So dynamic database is nothing called document database. Okay, so document based database here. So every data which is stored in a document format. So I'll show you the document format. So let me create a new project. Okay, you know how to create a new project, right? Isn't it? So let us have task number 33. Start new project. task 33 please. So I hope you have done all 32 tasks, right? Okay, so this is task 33. I'm just creating a project. So the project is created. Now I'm talking about tinydb. Tinydb is nothing but internal database. Okay, so click on storage, you will have tinydb here. Okay, tinydb. So this follows no structure query language. Okay, this follows the no structure query language. So this is mainly used to transfer data. For example, say in one screen you will be collecting a data, so that will be storing in. Today I'll show you the main advantage of tinydb. Say there are two screens in your mobile application. In one screen there is some data. Okay, that data I want to use in the second screen or in the third screen. Then what I will do, in the first screen I will be storing the data in tinydb server, and in the third screen I will retrieve from tinydb. I cannot retrieve from screen 1, getting my point? I cannot retrieve from screen 1, where in the screen 1 I will be pushing data to tinydb, and from screen 3 I will be retrieving from tinydb. Okay. So that is why tinydb is acting as an internal database. Tinydb is acting as an internal database, where if you want to store data in the mobile application, then immediately tinydb is a very good fit. Okay, so let us have two different screens here. Okay, so let us have a simple, simple form here. So let me drag. So let me have the screen name. Where is this screen name? App name task 33. Okay, screen name, screen 1. Okay, so here let's say message screen. Okay, so I'll be collecting, say I just wanted to demonstrate. Okay, message screen. I'll be entering message in this message screen, but that message has to be displayed in the second screen. Okay, I wanted to display message in the second screen. So then what it means? It means that, for example, say when you look at Amazon Flipkart application, so you will have items in one page, you will have cart in the second page, right? Then what is happening here? When you click on add to cart, then immediately what will happen? The selected item will be pushed to the database. And when you open checkout page, immediately the data which is pushed in the previous screen, will be retrieved and will be shown in the checkout page there. So which means that in between the screens there is a data where your data is getting stored in the application. So if the data is getting stored in the application, it is very easy. This is called temporary purpose. Okay, so the handling of data between screens, we done it temporarily, because once the data is retrieved from the third screen, we will be deleting the data from the first screen. Okay, that is not required as of now. So here let me demonstrate this. Let me enter a message on the first screen and let me show that message in the second screen there. So let us have a simple label. Let us put the font size to 28. Let us have a text for label 1 as message screen. Let us put it to fill parent, text alignment to center. Okay, so message screen. Let us have the background color to something else. Okay, message screen. So here let me have a simple form. Okay, let me have the table arrangement. Now let me go to layout. Let me have a table arrangement. So far we have not used table arrangement, I guess, right? Table arrangement. So table arrangement, 2 columns, 2 rows. So the columns and rows you can create here. Okay, if you need a form of 5-6 fields, then obviously you have to increase the number of rows or number of columns based on the context. Okay, so here let me put height and width to fill parent. Okay, let us put automatic, and let us put width to fill parent. Okay, and then let us have a button. Okay, so let us have a button. So let us increase the font size of button, and let us have a width of fill parent. Okay, so text for button one, which is like submit. So let me have a horizontal arrangement. Okay, let me have a horizontal arrangement also. Okay, so in button let us have to automatic, width to automatic, because I just wanted to insert in the horizontal arrangement. Okay, fill parent. So let me drag inside, and also let me have one more button here. Okay, so let us have the font size to 28. This is 28. So let me have width to fill parent. So let's say, so next. Okay, next screen, which is like next button. Okay, sub button one, let us put fill parent. Okay, fine. So isn't that submit and next? So here I wanted to submit the data. So let me have this is table, right? Table arrangement. So let me have the fields. Okay, so I just wanted to have two columns. So let me have a label. Okay, and label here, text label, and let me put text boxes. Okay, okay, so let us have label 2 as, let me increase the font size to 20, and let me have like enter name, whatever, enter name, and let us put fill parent. For text box 2, and for label 3, let us increase the font size to 20, and let us have enter message. Okay, so in the similar way, let us have this text boxes also. Let us have font size to 20, let us have fill parent, info text box 1. So let me remove this int. Okay, text box 2, let us have 20, let us have fill parent, let us remove this. Okay, that is not required. So enter message. So here let us have hint multi-line. Okay, multi-line text. Okay, so let us have this text box 1 and this to fill parent, everything is set. So table arrangement, let us have width fill parent, height also fill parent there. Okay, or we'll keep height to automatic. Okay, whatever. So in between this, let us have a gap. Okay, so let us understand how to put a gap. So let us have a gap between this. Okay, so this is creating a gap. Okay, so let us have a gap between the message screen and all. So let us scan this. Okay, and let us understand. So here I have dragged the horizontal arrangements to here and there in order to create a spacing gap, which is uniform spacing gap between the submit next and also enter name and enter message. Is that fine? So let me scan this whether it is displaying properly or not. So let me use the MIT app companion. So let me quickly check a companion. So here I am using the horizontal arrangements only to create a space gap, okay, uniform space gap between the table arrangement of enter name. So it is used to create, so something is looking odd, okay, enter name, enter message, so this is not taking the full value, so let it put fill parent, okay. So let me have table arrangement side to fill parent, no, automatic, oh fill, this is fill parent, height automatic, okay. So why this is not displaying good? Enter name, okay. Something is missed. Automatic, label to, let us put automatic as of now. This is also automatic. Label 3, I am just checking whether it is placed properly or not, okay. So you can also adjust all this, isn't it? Automatic, enter message. So for me it is showing like this is not showing good, that is why I am just changing all this. So I guess hint, as we have removed hint, so that is why it is showing like that, right? So enter message, so let it be, yep, enter message. What is the text box one? Enter name, okay, enter name, text box hint, enter message. Is that fine? So let us put fill parent, this is fill parent, enter message, fill parent, automatic fill parent, okay, fill parent, so text box 2, fill parent, label 3, so let us put fill parent, height fill parent, okay. So label 2, let us put fill parent, okay, width also fill parent, okay. Now everything is looking good for me. So have you done up to here? So you understood why I kept these boxes, right? So these boxes are used to create space, uniform space gap between the components there, isn't it? So can we go for, let me take some components, okay, before I go for blocks. So let me have from media, let me take text to speech engine, okay. And also let me from storage, let me take tinydb, okay, tinydb, which is the database, which is an internal database. So I have used tinydb here. So connectivity, nothing is required, okay. So I took this two component, text to speech and also tinydb. So I am done with the front end of the screen. Let me jump into the back end, which is blocks. So here we have, so here we had two buttons, right, button 1 and button 2. So button 1 is nothing but submit and button 2 is nothing but next, right, isn't it? So in the place of submit, let us have the values like store, okay. So the one button is to store the data, the other button is to go to next screen. So here let us store the data first. So let us jump to button 1. So you have to click on button 1. So where is this? Yeah, button 1. When button 1 dot click, so we have to read the data. So with that data we have to store in the tinydb, isn't it? So let us have text to speech. So let us add this text to speech to here. Let us have text, an empty string. Let us have storing the data. Storing the data. Okay, and then let us click on tinydb. So in tinydb you will have different types of CRUD operations, okay, create, delete and all. So let us have the block called call store value dot store value. So let us access this. So here we have to store a tag and value. So this is very important. So in no structure query languages, you will have key and value pair. You will have key and value pair. So here key is nothing but tag and value to store is nothing but value there. So you will be having a set of key value pairs. Okay. So let us quickly get these details. Okay. Text box 1 is like key. So let us add this. Let us select text. Okay. And also we have to click on text box 2, and also that is also required here, and that is text. So here text box 1 is nothing but the name, text box 2 is nothing but message. So for that name this message will be appended, isn't it? So for this name this value will be appended there. So tag and value to store. So here tag is nothing but name which is getting stored in the text box 1, and value is nothing but a value which is getting stored in the text box 2. Okay. Now these two values will be stored in the database when you click on button 1. So let us quickly do that and let us check. Okay, let us check. Let me debug the screen. So let me open MIT 8 app companion and let me scan this. Okay, connect, scan. So I have scanned it. Now the application will be downloaded. So let me increase the volume because enter name. So I'll write Madhu at enter name. Message I will write hi or something like that. Then I will click on store.
Storing the data.
So it is saying that it is storing the data because we have given text to speech, right? So it said that storing the data. So it means data has been stored in the database. Okay, and that data which is getting stored here and the data which is getting stored here has to be retrieved in the next screen. So that is the advantage of tinydb. Okay, from one screen we have stored the data and from the another screen we have to retrieve the data. So are you done up to this? If you are done up to this, please say yes so that I can go for next. Okay. So here what we have to do, we have to create a screen, isn't it? So let's click on add screen, screen 2, okay. So here let us go to screen 1, let us go to blocks, and when button 2 is clicked, isn't it? When button 2 is clicked, where is button 2? Here. When button 2 is clicked, what we have to do? We have to navigate to the screen 2, isn't it? So control, let's open, where is this open screen? Yep. open screen. So here we have to enter the screen name, isn't it? Screen 2. Okay. So let us have text to speech engine here. Let us have text to speech engine. So let us have a text like navigating to screen 2. So the spelling of navigating. Okay. So here there are two buttons. One button, when you click on one button, the data is getting stored, and when you click on second button, so we are moving to the next screen. So where I wanted to retrieve the data from the next screen. Okay, so let me check that with a companion. So I'll enter name. I'll enter name. I'll enter message. Let me click on next.
Navigating to screen 2.
So it is showing that navigating to screen 2. Okay, for me I got the thing. So check. So let me check my audio. You guys, everything is fine. So sorry for the power interruption. So here we have created a screen where we have used a label to display some message like message screen, and then we have created a space. So for uniform spacing, I am using this horizontal arrangements. Okay. And then I have created a table. In the table where I am asking user to enter name and message, and then if I click on store, so I just wanted to store this data in the tinydb, and also when I click on next, so it is going to next screen there. So isn't it? So let us jump into screen 2. So in the screen 2, let me display the data. Okay, here I want to retrieve the data which has been stored in the database in the screen 1. So let me have a label. Let me put font size to 28, and let us have the display screen, and let me put it to center. Let us have width to fill parent, and let us have background color to this, right. So let us display the data which is which is stored in the database. So let me drag few labels. Okay. And let me have a button too. So let me increase the font size of the button to 28, and let me put width to fill parent. So let us have a space gap between the display screen and text for button 1. Okay. So let us have a uniform space gap. So text for button 1. Okay. So here in the place of text for button 1, let us have a button name as read data. So we wanted to read data from the tiny database. So let us have the horizontal arrangement in between read data and text for label 2 and label 3. So here let us clear the labels. Okay. So let us have width to fill parent. Let us increase the font size to 20. Okay. And let us keep bold label 3. Let us increase the font size to 20. Okay. And let us keep font bold and let us clear this text for label 3 also. So let us put fill parent and let us have okay whatever left 0. So when you click on this button, so the data has to be read. Okay, so here let us have one more text field text box. Okay, so we have to read the messages from only one user. So let us have this. So let us put width to fill parent. Let us increase the font size to 28. Whatever. Enter the name. Okay. Now let us have okay. Let us do okay. So I think it's fine. So here I have dragged a text box 1. So here I'll enter the name. Then immediately when you click on read data, then respective data has to be displayed here. So let us do that. Label 2 and label 3. I guess one label is fine. Okay. So let me delete one label that is not required. So label 2, let us rename the component. Okay. Let us rename the component to message read from DB. Okay. So this is a new name. Message read from the DB. So text box 1, let us rename to name queried to DB. Okay. So here we are entering the name, because in the first screen if you observe we have entered name and message. So here we are giving name, so and we are just reading the data, so I can able to see the message in label there. So let me jump into blocks. So let me jump into blocks. So in the blocks, let me have a logic like, so when button 1 is clicked, you have to read the data. So let me have text to speech also. Okay. So let me go to designer. Let me have text to speech. So in media, I'll have text to speech. So let me drag text to speech. So let us select country to India. So if I'm going fast, okay, you can stream back, okay, because we are live on YouTube. So text to speech engine, we have modified the country and language. So nothing else, right? So let me jump into blocks. So here we have to enter. The text box name, right? Let us click on where is this tinydb. We have to drag one more component called tinydb, right? Because our target is to read the data from tinydb. So let us have tinydb here. Tinydb will be in storage. So let me have a tinydb. Okay. So our target is to read the data. So let me select tinydb here. So tinydb, I wanted to read the data. So get value. So get value is to, it is used to display the data. So here in this application we are using two tags from tinydb. Okay, one is get value, second one is store value. Store value is nothing but storing a value. Get value is nothing but reading the value. Okay, so let me display it. Okay, let me display it. Set text to call tiny database, but here okay, tag. So let us have a tag like the name query to DB. So let us have this. So here let us select text. Yep. So nothing is fine. So here we are using dot get value. So dot get value is nothing but reading data from database. So let me display. I have displayed it. Let me use text to speech engine. Call text queried. Read the data from DB database. Okay. So I guess everything is done. So let me test this screen. Okay, so let me click on connect. Before that, let me open my companion. So companion, connect a companion, let me scan. So it was scanned. Now the application screen will be downloaded onto the app inventor. So previously I have entered a string called a name called Madhu. So let me enter the same name. Read data.
Read the data from database.
Yes, I can able to see the message here. So everything is done. So let me quickly recap. Okay, recap the task. So here what we did. So let me recap. So let me recap the task. Okay. So in the screen 1, we are asking the user to enter name and message. So this name and message we are storing in the database by clicking on store button. So when you click on store, immediately this name and message will be stored in the database. And when you click on next button, so it has to go to screen 2. In the screen 2, we are having a text box. So in this text box, you have to enter the name which is stored in the previous screen. You have to enter that text here, and when you click on read data, so the message which is entered in the first screen will be displayed here, will be displayed in the screen. That is your task. Your task is to display the data which is entered in the first screen to here. So the task is you have to read the data which is entered in the first screen. So there are two screens here. In screen 1, we are just storing the data. In screen 2, we are displaying the data. Getting my point? So in the screen 1, we are storing the data into the tinydb, and in the screen 2, we are reading the data. So here, when you enter that name, so the message which is stored in the first screen will be displayed here. So I have done with my task. I have tested this also on my companion. It is working good. Please, you also test with your companion, and please do let me know in the chat. If you are done, please say yes, so that I can go for the next. So here in the tinydb, what we are doing here, tinydb is an internal storage. So it is used to handle the data between the screens. Okay. So in the real time scenario, this tinydb will help you out a lot, because in the real time scenario you have to transfer the data between the screens. Okay. So if you want to transfer the data between the screens, then internal database is very important. So in the internal database, we will be storing the data. We cannot store in variables. Okay, we cannot store in variables. What will happen when you store in variables? When you store in variables, when you move to the next screen, the variable scope will be lost. Okay, when the variable scope is lost, the values in that variable will be deleted. Okay, so that is why we cannot store the data in variables. We cannot use, for example, say I have taken one variable in screen 1. Can I access that variable in screen 2? I cannot access it because it is not having the scope. That is why in majority cases you will be having an internal database. In the internal database, you will be storing the data in one screen. In another screen, I wanted to use the data. So then as the data is stored in the database, I can able to access it by passing its key. What is a key here? Name is nothing but key. What is a value here? Message is nothing but the value. You can able to see in the screen 1 blocks. So everything is a key value pair. Everything is a key value pair. What is key here? Key here, it is nothing but tag, and value here, it is nothing but the message which is entered in the text box 2. Getting my point? So here the tinydb is acting as a data storage between the two screens. So so that is why it is independent of the server. So the server is within the application. So within the storage, tinydb is the best example where you can use it if you want to transfer the data from one screen to another screen. Okay, if you want to handle multiple screens data, then obviously tiny database you can use it. So clear? Any doubts in the tiny database? Please let me know. You can push in chat. Is that clear? Can we go for Firebase? So the next topic is Firebase database, that is an external database. So where, for example, say if you want to access, for example, say you have a Facebook page, okay, say you have a Facebook account, where you can use that Facebook account. You can use that Facebook account in the mobile app. You have to, you can open that Facebook account in the desktop application, right? So here if the data is stored internally in the application, for example, say if you put a status, okay, if you put a status in the Facebook on the mobile app, okay, if that data is stored internally, can you access the data through a desktop application? No, we cannot access it because the data is stored internally. So that is why what Facebook will do, Facebook will store the data in the cloud. So when the data is stored in the cloud, from where you open, okay, you can open from Windows Windows desktop PC, or you can open from the mobile application. Now that both applications will be dragging the data from database server which is stored in the cloud. So that is why some cases you will be seeing internal storage, because if you want to transfer the data between the scenes, okay, between the screens, if you want to transfer the data, then tiny database. If you want to share data between the applications, okay, between the applications, say you have a Facebook application on the desktop and you have a Facebook application on the a mobile app. If you want to transfer the data between the two applications, then obviously your data has to be stored in the cloud. So we have to understand how to store data in the cloud database by using App Inventor. And Firebase database is very popular database among the community if you want to develop rapid mobile apps. So if you want to develop a mobile apps, then the Firebase database will help you out in storing the data externally so that you can access from anywhere at any point of time. Let us quickly jump into the Firebase database, which is an external database where the data will be stored in the cloud. So far the data is stored in the tinydb of mobile application. So far the data has been stored in the tinydb of the mobile application, tiny database of the mobile application there. Okay. So let us create a project. So let me create a new project as 34. So let me create a new project. Okay. So here also I will create two screens. One screen I will use it for uploading, and second screen I will use it for downloading. Okay. Now here I have to upload the data to Firebase database server. So where is Firebase database server? It is deployed in Google Cloud. Okay. It is deployed on the Google base. So to the Google base we have to upload the data, and then we have to download the data here. So Firebase database is also document driven database where you will be having key and value. So they are called documents, every data which has been uploading here. So what kind of data we are uploading here? We are uploading a string data type, right? Or you can upload a value integer data type, or you can upload a float data type. That doesn't matter here. So the data type of the value that is been uploading, that is been storing in the database is not at all a matter, because these are document driven databases. So when these are no structure query language databases, so that is why they doesn't bother about the data type of the value that is being passed. Okay. So let us quickly okay, I have not opened the presentation. 1 second. Okay. Now we are talking about Firebase database, wherein it is an external database. So here we have to store data externally, not in the mobile application. We have to store data externally in the cloud, that too in Firebase database. And the task is like we have to create a mobile application to store the data into the Firebase database server, and then from the second screen we have to drag the data, we have to download the data. Let us do that with a simple App Inventor Studio. Okay. So let us create a screen. Let us make this screen. to a welcome screen. Let us change the name of the screen to welcome screen. Okay, to welcome screen. So I have changed the name of the screen to welcome screen, or let me put message screen. Okay, so that we don't confuse. So here I just wanted to have the label. So here let me put the font size to 28. So let me write width to fill parent. Let me write a message like message screen. So text alignment to center, and background color, let me put this. Okay, whatever. Okay, so and then let us have the spacing. Okay, let us have horizontal arrangement. Let us have a table arrangement here. So let us upload. So let us have labels. Okay, let us have labels. Let us have text boxes, same as the previous app. Okay, and let us have 2 buttons. Okay, let us keep horizontal arrangement layout. Okay, so let us have this to fill parent. Let us have 2 buttons. So this to the second button there. So these are the components. Let me drag from media. Let me drag text to speech, and also from now experimental. Okay, from experimental I should drag Firebase database. Okay, so this is been an experimental, which is like they are testing it. So as of now I have tested it, so it is working good, so we can use that. Now let us configure all this. Label to let us put font size to 20 or 28, whatever. Width to fill parent. So text for label 2, let me adjust, let me write enter name, whatever. At label 3, let me have font size to 20, and let me write enter message. And text box, let us have the font size to 20. Let us have int for text box 1 to enter message. Okay, so enter name. So in text box 2, let us have the font size to 20, and let us have this to enter message. Okay, so whatever. Text to speech, you know how to set this, right? Country India, language to English. So we have to configure Firebase database, that's fine. So let me quickly check. Okay, buttons, let me have the button name font size to 20, and let us have button values like store. Okay, and button 2 as next, isn't it? So we wanted to go to next screen, say, and first font size to 20. Now let us keep everything to fill parent. Okay, so width to fill parent, height to fill parent, and button 1. So let us have width to fill parent, and height also to fill parent. In a similar way, text box 1, let us have the width to fill parent, and height to also fill parent there. Text box 2, width to fill parent, and height to fill parent. So whatever. So label 3, let us have width to fill parent, and height to fill parent there. So label 2, let me have height to fill parent. So let me check how it is displaying on the screen. Okay.
Storing the data.
Okay. So let me scan the QR code. Okay, so enter name. So I think it's displaying good. So now we have to configure this Firebase database one. Okay, so we have to enter after doing all this. So in the previous application also we have done all this, right? So the new thing is, in the place of tinydb we have replaced with Firebase database. So here in the Firebase database we have to configure the Firebase token and also Firebase URL. So here you have to access the your Firebase account. So let me jump into that. So I'll ask my team to post the Firebase URL. Okay. So firebase.com to google.com. So firebase.google.com, this is a URL we have posted in the WhatsApp group also. Please check it out. Okay, so here in the Firebase server we will be storing your data. So for that we have to do some little configuration here. Okay, so please kindly open this firebase.google.com. Okay, you can click on the get started. Okay. So initially let me log out, let me do it in the incognito mode so that I can also start from first point. Okay. So let me do it for here, firebase.google.com. Okay, now there is no account signed in, so let me also sign in for you. So let me click on this get started. So when you click on get started, it will be asking, as I said, this is a product of Google, so it will be asking to enter the Gmail ID. Okay, let me enter the Gmail ID. So you have to log in with your Gmail ID and password. Then immediately you can able to see this, something like this. So let us create a project first. Okay, let us click on add project. So let us click on add project. So we have to create a project. Okay, so let us say the project name as MIT app. Okay, let us have the project name as MIT app, and let me click on continue. Let me click on continue. So when you click on continue, it is asking to whether to do analytics on your Firebase project or not. So let us okay, because everything is free. So let us keep all this, and let's click on continue. So here it is asking to select the account. So let me have a default account for Firebase. Okay. So I have selected default account for Firebase to configure the Google Analytics for the project. So let me click on create project. So when you click on create project MIT app, so this is a project name which is given. So that project will be created in the Firebase console. So it is taking some time to provide all the resources from the Firebase. Now here we have created a project, and we have to configure this project and also MIT app in order to get communicated. Okay, so your new project is ready with the name MIT app. So let's click on continue. When you click on continue, you can able to see the app is opened here, and you can connect this app either to iOS or either to Android or either to web or either to Unity also. Okay, so you can connect this application project to any of these applications so that the data can be communicated from there. So here what we have to do is we have to create a database for storing the data. Okay, so let us quickly do that. So here you will have database on the left side. You will have database. Let me zoom it for you. Okay, here on the left side you will have database. So you have to click on the database. So when you click on the database, you can able to see an option like to create a database. You will get an options here. We have to create a database, then only we can store the data. So on the left side you will be having options to have all this. Okay, so you have to click on database. So when you click on database, you will get an option to create a database. So let me click on create database. So here two options will be there: start in production, start in test mode. So start in production, you need to go for start in production if you want to release the application outside. Okay, so as of now let us put in start in test mode. So in test mode all the data will be deleted for 30 days. Okay, if you want to release if you want to release the application outside, then you can put in start in production mode. Okay, based on the data that is been uploaded here, as much of data is uploaded, so they will be creating some payment policies for that. So let us put start in test mode. So when you put start in test mode, so you will not have any payments for that. So for learning purposes you can keep start in test mode, and then let's click on next. So okay, cloud Firestore location, let us have the same thing. So let us click on done. So now the database is going to create in your account. So by using to this database we have to upload the data, and we have created this. Now we need to access this database from the mobile app, MIT App Inventor. So for that we need to configure our Firebase Database option component, which is available in the App Inventor designer. So let us quickly do that. So here you need to select the URL. Okay, so we need a URL because if you look at the App Inventor, okay, if you look at the App Inventor there, it is asking us to enter the Firebase URL, isn't it? So here we have to enter the Firebase URL. So every database will have, every project will have Firebase URL. If you want to see that URL, let's click on the real time database. So when you click on real time database, you can able to see the URL there. Okay, let us copy this URL. So when you select real time database, then only URL will be displayed. Okay, so you have to select the URL, and we have to paste it here in the Firebase URL on the App Inventor. Okay, so we have to place the Firebase URL in the App Inventor, so you can able to see that URL. So when you select real time database, okay, so after that we have to change the Firebase token. So Firebase token is also very important. So we have to change this token. So that is default token which is showing there, that is not our token. So here we have to copy the token from here. So let us click on the project settings. Okay, let us click on the project settings. So project settings will be here on the left side, and then you will have service accounts here. In the service accounts you can able to see your database token. Okay, so database token is nothing but database secret. So that will be let us click on database secrets. So every database will have a secret key, so that will be displayed here for the app. So you need to copy this secret. So let me copy the secret. So I copied the secret of database secret. So here this secret has to be placed here, okay, at Firebase token. So we have to place the token here at Firebase token. Okay, so we have placed our token, Firebase token, which is Firebase database secret, to here, and we have URL, and we can now directly jump into the blocks. Okay, so both are configured, token is configured, URL is configured. So let us quickly jump into blocks. So in the blocks, so when button 1 is clicked, and when button 1 is clicked, we have to store the data, right? We have to store the data. So let me click on Firebase DB1. So we have to store the data. So let me click on Firebase DB1. So we have to store the data. 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 So we have to store Okay, tag. So what is a tag here? So in the previous case also we have tagged it, right? So text box, so let us put this text box dot text, isn't it? And also text box 2, let us have this to text, isn't it? So we have to append the value like tag key and value pair. Okay, and let me click on text to speech engine. Okay, let me click on text to speech engine. So let me copy this, call text to speech engine. Let's have message like data stored in Firebase. Okay, so let us quickly scan the QR code of this screen. Let me check whether data has been stored or not. So let me show you how to see the data. So before that, let us scan the QR code. So let me click on AI companion, scan QR code. So now it is downloading the screen. So let me enter message. I'll enter name as Madhu and message as hi. So let me click on store.
Data stored in Firebase.
So let us quickly jump into that. Okay, so we have used append method, right? So let me quickly go back and check where is this app inventor. I guess we have appended a value. But we have to use a method called store value because this is append. So I just appended. So I thought there is a data element available there. So let me replace with, okay, let me use append later. Okay, now let me check.
Data stored in Firebase.
So it is giving data stored in Firebase. So let me jump to the database here. Let me jump into real-time database. Okay, so it is just reload. Yes, task 34. So that is the app name, right? So yeah, we have got this Madhu hi. So let me put another message. Okay, so let me put mad message as mad blocks.
Data stored in Firebase.
So you can see mad and the mad blocks. That is a new message which I kept. Okay,
Data stored in Firebase.
so I have entered one more value which is like Madhu mad blocks. Okay,
Data stored in Firebase.
so it is key value pair. Okay, so the value is getting updated when you enter with the same name. So that is what you have to understand. So like this you have to upload the data. Okay, you have to upload the data. So let me put,
Data stored in Firebase.
so here all the data is coming to this Firebase database server, right, where it is stored in the real-time database of page. So where you can able to see your data there. So are you all able to see your data? So if you are able to see your data here, it means that we have uploaded the data from the mobile app inventor. And let us understand how to read this data. So if you want to read this data, what you have to understand is, this is called key value pair. Okay, So here they are calling as tag and value. Tag, what is a tag? Tag is bolded here. If you see, the tag is nothing but this is called tag, isn't it? So when you click on it, that is called tag. And what is the message it is been storing there? Hi, hello is a message storing there. Getting my point? It is called tag. And what is the value there? Value assigned to it is, hi, hello. So that is the value. So everything which is getting stored here is in terms of tag and value. So that is what you have to remember. Okay. So let us quickly implement, let us read the data in the second screen. Okay, let us read the data in the second screen. So as of now we have stored the data in the first screen. So let us read the data in the second screen. So let us have the button 2 here. When button 2 dot click, so when button 2 dot click, we have to have, so let us have navigating to, okay, screen 2. So here let me create a new screen. So I have seen the data in the Firebase database server. Now I am just reading the data from the second screen. So let me create a screen 2 here. Okay. So let me go back to screen 1 and 2 blocks. So here let me do little configuration, like moving to another screen, open another screen. So what is the text? The screen name, right, which is nothing but screen 2, isn't it? So here screen 2. So when you click on the second button, which is nothing but next button, so it has to navigate to screen 2. Okay. So let us jump into screen 2 now. So in the screen 2, in designer it is empty. So let us do configuration here. So let us have label, and let us have the layout to horizontal arrangement, and here text for label 1 let us stylish later. Okay, and let me have a text box 1. So where is text box? Yes, text box here. Let me have horizontal arrangement again, so in order to create a space, and let me have button, and let me have a label. Okay, so this is what we done in the previous application also, right? So let us have a text for label 1. Let us increase the font size to 28 or 20, whatever, and let us put width to fill parent. Let us have the thing like display screen, whatever. Okay, so let us put it center. So let us follow the background color to cyan. Text box 1, so let us have the font size to 28. So let us have width to fill parent. So let us have hint like enter tag. Okay, so you have to enter the tag, so that is the name which is given in the first screen, right? So I think it's done. And then button 1, let us have font size to 28, and let us have width to fill parent, and let us have text for button 1. Here let us read the data. So when you click on read the data, so based on the tag that you enter, the data has to be displayed on label 2. Okay, so let us have font size to 28, and let us remove this. Okay, let us clear this, and width to fill parent. Okay, so let us do logic for this. So let us have the text to speech. Where is this? Media. In media you will have text to speech, and also in storage you will have this Firebase. In experimental you will have Firebase DB, and here we have to configure the Firebase in the second screen. Okay, so here you have to copy the token. So before that let us copy the URL. Okay, So the URL is this, right? So let us copy the URL to the default, in the place of default let us copy the URL, okay, and then we have to paste the Firebase token, right? So let us do, that was there in the screen one, right? Let us copy from here because both are same, right? So let us do it in screen 2. So let us have the same Firebase token, okay. So Firebase is also configured text to speech. Let us select country to India and language to English. So that is also done. Let us jump into blocks. So in the blocks, when button 1 is clicked, so when button 1 is clicked, what we have to do? We have to say text. Let us okay. Let us read the data. So let us click on Firebase DB1. So let us get the value. Let us use call get the value. Okay. So here tag, let us pass the tag. Where is the tag? Text box. Okay, dot get value tag, so that we will be passing here. So let us set label. So once the value is received, we have to set the this thing, right? Or this text. Set label to dot text to and Firebase DB1. You have to where is this? Okay. Once the data is received, okay, let us do one thing. Let us have the call text to speech here. So let us have text. Let us have text like, sending query. So whenever Firebase receives the data, then immediately let us have this, okay. When fire db1 dot get value got value. So when it means the name itself say got value, then here what we have to do? We have to display it in the label 2, right? So set label 2 and let us have this value, okay, get value, and also let us have this duplicate call and let us do this, okay. Instead of this, let us have value here. So I just wanted to speak out the value by the text to speech engine. Okay, so thereby I know according to me this was done. Let me check in the MIT companion, okay. So let me open MIT app companion. So let me quickly scan the QR code, okay. So the screen will download. So what are the tags that I have given? Let me see the names, okay. Mad, okay. So let me write MIT Mad here.
Sending query. Sending query. Sending query.
Okay. I have kept something here, dismiss. Always I will forget this, right? We have to put text.
Mad blocks. Mad blocks.
So when I send mad, so it is saying this is a value which has been stored for mad.
Mad blocks.
Okay, for mad I have stored mad blocks, so that is why it is spelling as mad blocks there. Okay, so I am done with task 34. Yes, it set label to we have to set text. So always I'm doing the same mistake. I'm just I forgot that, so you please put it text. Okay, so you'll get the output. So I got the output on my screen. Please do let me know whether you were able to download the data from the Firebase cloud or not. So when you search for a tag which is available, then immediately you will be getting this. So we are done with Firebase also. So we have done uploading and also we have done downloading. So now the data is getting stored in the Firebase cloud. So you're not storing the data in the tinydb here. So when the data is not stored in tinydb, you can able to access the same Firebase data from 3-4 applications, right? Say for example, say I wanted to send you a WhatsApp message. So my message, if it is stored in my application, you cannot see that data, right? For example, say in WhatsApp, if I put hi, okay, if I use tinydb in the WhatsApp, then what will happen? That hi message will be stored in my application. So you cannot retrieve the data which is to your application, right? So that is why what people do. People use a common database. People use a common database between the applications. So people use something like Firebase database where it is common for all the applications. Okay. So I will be sending data to Firebase database and you will be querying the data from your application. You can able to see my message, I can able to see your message, because all the messages are getting stored in the common database. Okay. But when you look at tinydb, if you use tinydb in that case, all the messages will be stored in your internal database. So I cannot access your messages, you cannot access my messages here. So that is why that is the importance of Firebase database here. So by using Firebase database, you can have a common center for all the applications that you create. So you can the applications can able to handle the data because the data is stored in the cloud. That too in particular Firebase database here. So any queries on this? So I am done with task 34. So do you let me know if you have any queries? So if you look at the the implementation of database, in tinydb also we have used the same blocks, right? So here also we have used the same block, but the implementation part, the configuring of database is different from tinydb to Firebase database, but the implementation part is same. There also we will be using .get value if you want to get the value. There also we are using .store value if you want to store the value. So the implementation blocks are same. The implementation blocks are same. The only difference is the configuration of database is different. Okay, in tinydb it is internal, so in Firebase it is external. So like this you need to handle the data from the cloud to the mobile application. So if you want to store the data in cloud, so always we cannot say that you have to store the data internally. There will be some cases where you have to store the data in the cloud. So I am done with task 33 and task 34. So there is one final task left, which is nothing but how to add a third party extension. So far we have used all the components which are available in the app inventor, right? So let us understand how to import a third party extension. Check the URL. Okay, check the URL. If the data is not uploading, you have to check the URL and key. Stream back and check the settings and configuration there. And so far we have used all the components which are available in the app inventor. So I just wanted to show you how to use extension. Okay, what is extension here? Extension here is nothing but importing a third party package. So when you import a third party package, then let us understand how to build applications on it. So for this case, I want you to have account in the IBM cloud. So IBM cloud is completely free up to some extent. So let us create an account in the IBM cloud. So here what my task is, I have to classify an image. Okay, I have to differentiate the images between the objects which has been passed to the mobile application here. For example, say I will pass an Apple image. For example, say I will pass an Apple image to the mobile application, then it should identify as Apple. Okay. If I pass orange image, to the application, it should identify as orange. So here what we are doing here, we are classifying the images. Between Apple and orange. Okay. So what is Apple? So humans can understand how humans will understand Apple. So they will identify the size, they will identify the color, they will identify the shape, and they will identify the using the features of Apple, right? So from childhood days we will understand what is Apple and what is not Apple, right? So here how we will understand, we will be understanding based on the shape, based on the size, based on the features, isn't it? So all this will help us in understanding the fruit apple. So in the similar way, when you look at orange, we will be understanding orange in the similar way, right? Based on the size, based on the shape, based on the features. So here how a machine can understand, can distinguish whether it is apple or not, whether it is, how a machine will understand, whether this fruit is apple or not, whether this fruit is orange or not, which indirectly means that the machine has to classify which is apple, which is not apple, which is orange, which is not orange. Okay, a machine should understand which is apple, which is not apple, which is orange, which is not orange. If you could bring up that kind of intelligence on the application, so we can easily classify those kind of images. For example, say if you are suffering from, say you got some rash on the skin, okay, but you don't know what is that rash, and then if you scan that rash through the screen, through the camera of the mobile phone, okay, if your mobile phone is able to identify that rash, then it means that it will keep suggesting you the user what kind of preventive measures you have to take, what kind of medicines you have to take. So it keeps suggesting the data there. So it means that the rash on the skin is able to identify by the application there. So the rash on the skin is able to identify by the application, and the application will keep suggesting the user what he has to do when the rash is identified. So these kind of intelligence, if you bring up on the mobile application, then obviously those kind of applications will have a lot of intelligence and lot of scope in the market. Okay, so far we have not used this kind of intelligence in the previous applications, right? So here I wanted to bring an artificial intelligence onto the mobile application, where the mobile application has to classify the image, has to understand what is that image. Okay, for example, say how you learned which is apple, which is not apple. So for example, say in your childhood days, a teacher will show you the apple image and will tell you that this is apple. So this is the features, this is the shape, this is the size, this is the color. So this is how your teacher will be training you, right? So in the similar way, how you understood orange, your mother or your father or your brother or your sister or your teacher will be showing you the image, telling about the features, telling about the color, telling about the shape, telling about the size. So all this will be trained by someone else to you, right? So that is what in the similar way, when you look at a machine, when you keep training this data, when you show these images to the machine and telling the machine that, boss, this is apple, please understand this is apple, please understand this is orange. You have to train the machine. You need a trainer to train all this kind of data, right? So in our childhood days, people trained us so that today you are able to identify which is apple, which is not apple. If you are not trained on that apple, say if no one has taught you the apple, then you cannot understand which is apple, which is not apple there. So it means that someone is training in your life. So those kind of training has to be done on the machine. So when someone is training for human, we call it as natural intelligence. We call it as IQ. What is the IQ of the user? So there we call it as natural intelligence. So when you have this kind of intelligence on the machine, on the mobile application, say you will be building a mobile app in the MIT App Inventor. If your MIT App Inventor app is able to identify which is apple, which is not apple, then it means that the intelligence is built on the machine, on the mobile phone. So here mobile phone is acting like a machine. So this machine is created some intelligence. So that is why that kind of intelligence is called artificial intelligence, right? So in the artificial intelligence, machine learning is very important aspect where machine should learn from the data. So in the childhood days, someone has shown you the apple image, A for apple and all. They have shown you the image, and they said about the features of apple, features of the fruit, and then you will be understanding, okay, so all this kind of metrics, and you will be able to distinguish which is apple, which is not apple. In the similar way, we have to train the machine, and the machine will start learning, okay. So if the machine starts learning, then it is called machine learning, okay. So we have to bring up machine learning on the mobile application without writing any code. So without writing any code, your application has to identify. So the main agenda of App Inventor here, why we are talking about App Inventor, there is no need of writing any program. In the similar way, I wanted to create apps on artificial intelligence without writing any code using MIT App Inventor by installing some third-party extensions. Okay, so there is no default extension for creating artificial intelligence applications here. We have to install a third-party application here so that your application start learning. Okay, your application starts identifying objects. So let us quickly do that. So to do that, we will be using IBM Cloud. Okay, the brain behind this application is IBM Cloud. What we do is we will be uploading the images to IBM Cloud, and the IBM Cloud is identifying it, and it will be passing back the data to the mobile phone. So the mobile phone is not having any kind of intelligence here. So the mobile application, what mobile application is doing here, mobile application is collecting the data and sending the data. Data is nothing but image here. So mobile phone is collecting the image and sending that image back to the IBM Cloud. In the IBM Cloud, prior we will be training the data, and once the data is trained, then so we are conducting quiz daily, right? So we are conducting quiz only after the session, not before the session, right? If we conduct before the session, what will happen? You cannot able to answer all the questions there. But if the quiz is conducted, why we are conducting quiz? Quiz is nothing but an exam, right? Where we are checking your intelligence on the session. So we are checking whether you are following the session or not. So in the similar way, we have to train the data first, and later we have to pass the test results there. So let us quickly understand, the role of IBM Cloud. The role of IBM Cloud is nothing but IBM Cloud is nothing but a computer of IBM where we are using some services from IBM Cloud. So it is free to access. Let us create an account here. So which is nothing but www.ibm.com/cloud. So can someone push the URL in the group? ibm.com/cloud. ibm.com/cloud. So this is a URL where you have to create an account. ibm.com/cloud. ibm.com/cloud. So in this ibm.com/cloud, so in this we have shared in the WhatsApp group also, you can check that out. ibm.com/cloud. In the WhatsApp group also we have shared it. So in that IBM Cloud, we have to create an account. So it is very simple to create an account. So start for free. So you'll have a blue color button on the right side top. So when you click on that, it will ask you to have an account here. So it is asking some details, the email ID, password, and then verify email, and the personal information there. Okay. So please create an account. So if you create an account, then we can get started. So let me also create an account here. So password. So I have entered the email ID. So let me zoom in. I have entered the email ID here, and the password. Okay, I will put my password. Okay, so it is asking one uppercase, one lowercase, one number, one special characters, and 8 to 31 characters. Okay, so follow the password matrix there, and let us click on next. So when you click on next, it is sending an email. So we have to enter the verification code. So let me check my email. Okay, I got the verification code. So let me enter my verification code 0593871. So this is my verification code. Let me click on next. First name, last name. So let me enter my name. So country is India. Let's click on next. Okay, let's click on create account. Okay, so now account has been creating and I have verified my email. Okay, you can slowly follow the YouTube live. If I went fast, if your network is slow, okay, you can slowly follow the live stream. Okay, so your account is created, so it is logging in. Okay, you can scroll down and you can click on proceed. Now I have logged in into the IBM cloud. I have given all the details there, so it has created a login page. Now I can able to see the dashboard of the IBM cloud. So here we have to use some services so that we can bring the intelligence onto the application. Okay, so let us click on create resource. Okay, so here you will have lot of services which are related to artificial intelligence. Okay, so we have to create a service resource to do those kind of classifications. Okay, so let us click on create resource. So let us search visual recognition. Okay, so visual recognition is nothing but classifying images. So let me scroll down and see. Oh, where is this services AI. Yes, visual recognition. So I have clicked on services. You can see the video there. So I have to click on visual recognition. Visual recognition is nothing but a service which can able to identify the images. Okay, it can able to identify, but what it has to identify, that we have to train. Okay, we have to train. It cannot identify directly. Okay, it cannot identify directly, we have to train them. So that is what we have to do is we have to create a service, okay, called visual recognition on IBM cloud. So let me click on create. So when I click on create, so the this service will be created in your account. So it displays the API key. So that API key is very important. So we are all doing all this only for to get that API key. So this visual recognition service is supported in different programming languages like Node.js, Python, Ruby, Unity, and also in Java, Go, .NET, Curl. So in various programming languages it will get supported, but here we need the service credentials. Okay, so we want to do with app inventor, so we need the API key. So this API key is important for us. So let me copy this API key in a notepad, because I have to copy this API key into another platform for training the data. So let me quickly copy the API key. Okay, so I have copied my API key into the notepad, so later I can use that. So this, by using this API key, we will be accessing the IBM Cloud Visual Recognition Service from the app inventor. Okay, from the app inventor, not directly. By importing some extension onto the app inventor, we will be accessing this visual recognition service using this API. So this is the API key which is generated automatically when you create a service here. Okay, it is free, so we can use that. So after doing this, we have to create an account in the third party extension. Okay, and the in the presentation also I guess I have wrote that. Yes, AI classifier. So we have created a resource, we have created a service, called visual recognition. So that is done. So I'm going for next task. So the next task is to create a classifier. So now what we have to do is we have to create an account in this URL. Okay, machine learning for kids.co.uk. So they are providing the third party extension for visual classifier. Okay, we have to train, we have to understand the the application has to classify the data in between apple and orange. So to do that, they are providing the third party extension for app inventor. So what is the website there? We have shared it in the WhatsApp group also. You can go through that quickly. Okay, let me create an account on this. Okay, so let me open it. Machine learning for kids.co.uk, isn't it? So machine learning for kids.co.uk. So these people are providing the third party extension for app inventor. Okay, so these people are providing third party extension into the app inventor for classifying the images, where the back end of this platform is connected with IBM Cloud. That is why we have created a service in IBM Cloud, and we have opted a service called visual recognition. The name itself is visual. Visual is nothing but image analysis. Okay, so visual recognition is nothing but doing image analysis on the image which is passed to the application here. Okay, so here we have to create an account. Let us click on get started. So when you click on get started, so it is asking first time here. Yes, it is first time here. We have to click on sign up. So when you click on sign up, who are you? It is asking parent, teacher, or leader of a coding club, or a student. So let us click on a parent, teacher, or leader of a coding club. Okay, so I'm opting a parent, teacher, or leader. So I'm not opting student here. I'm just opting I'm a leader of coding club. Okay, so here, so it is asking, are you a teacher? If you would like to access for your students, please create a class account below. There are two types of class account depending on who sets it up. If you are happy to set up and manage the class account, you can do it now. You will need to, what you need to have, see, you will understand why I have created account in IBM Cloud. You will need to create a free account in IBM Cloud. So we have did it in the earlier step, right? And we have create API key for Watson cloud services needed to train machine learning models, and we have created a service, and we have copied our API key also. So that is why I asked you to store the API key, because we have to enter here in this platform. Okay, the reason I have used IBM Cloud, because this platform will use IBM Cloud for training the machine learning models. So here enter the API keys into the machine learning model for kids tool. Okay, that is fine. So let us click on sign up. Okay, so let us click on sign up. So we have everything. We have IBM Cloud, we have API keys and all. So username, I'll write some username, PIOT, whatever. Email address, let me enter my email address. Okay, so intended use, say, for coding club. Okay, whatever. So let's go down and let's click on create class account. So here I have clicked on create a class account. So your password is generated here. So let us copy the password. Don't forget to copy the password. Okay, so let me paste it in the notepad. Later I can change the password. The password will be generated randomly by this account, by this platform. So it is saying please check your inbox for a confirmation email. So meanwhile, let me confirm the email which I will receive from machine learning for school kids here. So as of now there is no email from them. Let me keep checking it. So no email as of now. Let me check in the other email. As of now there is no email from them. Did we have missed anything? No. So you know you may notice this. Check your inbox for a confirmation email. It is showing the message there, but there is no email received as of now. So let me log in. Already registered. Oh, I'm having the other account, huh? Okay. So let me check with this ID, okay. So maybe IoT. Let us copy the password of this to here. Let me click on login. Please verify your email. We have created, when you create your account, you should have been sent an email to verify your address. Click on the link. Okay. So it is asking me to verify, but I have not received anything yet. Okay, maybe it takes some time. So let me open the other account. Okay, I am having one more account on this platform. So let me log in. Okay, so I have logged in. Now here what you have to do is you have to do little configuration here, okay, and the configuration comes to here, you need to click on teacher. So you have to click on API keys. So you have to paste your API key which is copied from the IBM Cloud Service page, okay. So let us click on this Watson API keys. So here we have to paste our API key, okay. So we are training the machine learning models for images, right. So let us remove this API key and let us have the new API key, okay. Let us click on add new API key, which is light plan. So our pricing plan is light plan, which is free. So API key which has been copied, so let me use the same API key there, home, copy, paste, okay. So let me click on add. So I have pasted the API key here. After that I am clicking on add. So thereby you can able to see the same API key here. So let me verify this by clicking on verify button. So when you click on verify button, if this API key is correct, you will see the tick mark there. If not, you will see cross mark there. So you can able to see tick mark. So it means that this API key is correct. So it is fine with this API key to train the model. So let me quickly go back to projects, okay. So here there are some machine learning projects which I have developed to test this, okay. So forget about this, let us create a new project. So let us create a new project, let us click on add a new project. You can have this whole class project or whatever. The project name. So here we wanted to create a fruit classifier, okay. Recognizing what? Recognizing images. Recognizing images. So we wanted to create an image classifier on the app inventor. So let us click on create. Let us click on create. So when you click on create, you can able to see the same project which is created here, the fruit classifier recognizing images. So let us click on this. So when you click on this, you will have two modules here. One is called train module, second one is called test module. Train module. So it is like training and conducting quiz, okay. So we have to train first and then later we have to test. So let us train. So let us train the examples. So what is the task here? Your task here is to identify the fruit. Identify what? Apple or orange, okay. So let me click on train. So let me click on train. So here we have to add a new label. So we have to add a class here. So what we have to do is how many fruits you want to identify. So here my task is to identify only two fruits, one is apple, second one is orange, okay. So here I have to click on add a new label. I have to click on add a new label. So here I have to write some label name. So let me write apple because I wanted to recognize apple fruits, apple. So let's click on add. You can able to see the box here. In a similar way, you have to identify one more class which is nothing but the orange, right? Orange. So you can able to see apple and orange. So here you can drag pictures from the other browser windows and drop them here. We have to give them, we have to show them some images, okay, which are related to apple in this box, and in this box you have to drag some fruits which are oranges into this box, okay. So what we have to do is we have to fill some images which are related to apple here, and we have to fill some images which are related to orange. So let us do that. Let us quickly open a new tab. So let us search for apple images. So I should type apple fruit, okay, otherwise apple phone will comes to here, okay. So in images, let me select few images out of this, okay. So select the image, open it in the new tab, open it in the new tab, and copy this URL, and paste it here, which is like 3 W's, okay. So let us paste here, add. So this image is added here. So in the similar way, let us add few more images. So at least 11 images, okay. Open a new tab, because we have to show some images to the classifier, okay, then only it will understand. So you should not have the same image more number of times. Okay, so you have to keep changing your images. Okay, but they are apple. So here this fruit, I mean this apple is different from this apple, but they are apple, right? So the shape is different. So the classifier, we have to pass different shapes which are related to apple, and different sizes even, if there are any. Okay, no these kind of images. Okay, these are like, they are like vectors. You should pass the real images. Okay, make sure that they are having clarity. Okay, so the clarity of the image is very important. So let us have this image, let us paste it here. So like this you have to copy paste 10 to 11 images. Okay, so we are having 3 images as of now here, so you can able to see the number also 3. So let us make 10 to 11 images on the fruit. Okay, so this is original apple, right? So I'm just copying the images, okay, which are available in Google. I'm just copying the images into the classifier. Okay, it is saying that it's already there, so I try to duplicate it, I guess. So copy, paste. Okay, so there are 5 images as of now. So let me add few more images. Okay, so these are also apples, right? So let me add this, just like green apple, isn't it? I guess this is not original photo, and this is original, right? Open image in new tab, copy the image and paste it here. Okay, 7 images as of now. Let us put 3 more images. So this is like, data collection. Okay, so we have to collect the data. If we collect the data, then obviously we can able to classify it on the machine. Okay, so we have to tell the machine boss, this is apple, because apple will be available in different shapes and irregular shapes and all, right? So we have to tell it, so these are all apples. So make sure that the shapes are different, the patterns are different and all. Okay, is this good? Okay, I'll use this. Open image, new tab. So let me pass. So we have to keep collecting the data, and we have to pass everything to this URL. Okay, so understand what I'm doing here. You're getting my things, right? So we have to collect the data. Is this apple? It is looking like a tomato. Okay, so let me put this, or let me put this. Open image in new tab. let us upload all these images. Okay, so 10 to 12 images. So as of now I have uploaded 11. Okay, so 11 it is fine. So let me close all these Apple images. Okay, so now we have to jump to second fruit. So like this you have to create as many as many things possible. So if you want to classify two more fruits, again you have to collect all the data. So here for me to demonstrate, let me take two minimum fruits. Okay, so let me jump into orange now. Okay, a fruit called orange fruit. Okay, so let me have all these images into the data set one by one like apple. So we have to open the image in new tab, and you have to copy the path, and then you should quickly go back to the orange. Now here we have to click on this. Okay, see, so you have to collect the data. Okay, if you collect the data, then only you can able to train your machine. All the machines has to be trained on data. Okay, so if there is no data, if your data is inaccurate, say if your images are inaccurate, then obviously the machine fails in understanding them, right? So make sure that you select the proper image and high clarity. Okay, so that it will be good enough where your machine can train and understand things, isn't it? So three image, third image. Oh, that's already there. Okay, so let me put is this a fruit or dummy fruit? No, this is dummy fruit. Okay, let me put this. So let me copy the path and let me paste it here. Okay, 3 images as of now. Good. So let us upload 7 more images, right? Okay, so for data collection you should have little patience, because I guess the class time is going around 8:40 now. I guess in another 20 minutes we can conclude this topic, and thereby we can easily conclude the bootcamp also. Okay, I wanted to share knowledge, so that is why I have selected this, because these days artificial intelligence is having good job opportunities also, right? So if you learn this kind of stuff, that may help you out. That is why I have integrated this task. So otherwise it is fine for me, right? So let us copy this. Okay, 5 completed, so we have to upload another 5. So let me upload. Okay, let me upload this pic also, so that it will train. So how many pics? 6. Oh shit, more 5 pics I have to upload. Okay, fine, let us upload. Let us have a little patience in uploading this. Okay, we have to identify the image, and it should have clarity, and it should be original. Okay, so I guess this is original, so let me upload this one. Okay, so let us have this image here. Okay, 7 uploaded. Let us upload 4 more pics. Okay, so have little patience. So patience is very important, right? When you are doing something big, you should have little patience, because in the quarantine you have joined this bootcamp. It indirectly means that you wanted to learn knowledge, right? So I just wanted to give the best to you in the bootcamp, so that you can use this knowledge later. So that is my main agenda. So let me copy all this, add 2 more pics. Come on, let's upload. Is this version 1? No. Is this? Yes, let's upload this. Open image in new tab. So let us copy it. Okay. Let us add 10. Yes, one last image. Let's do that. Come on, come on, come on. Where is this? Okay, let's do this. Is this version 1? No, it is not version 1. Where is the final one? So let's upload this. Okay. So let us go. Oh, this is WebP. Shit. We should upload only JPG and PNGs. Okay. Okay. This is JPG. So I have uploaded 11 each. Fine. So minimum of 10 images we have to upload, so that will be good enough. Okay. So here we have uploaded apple and also we have uploaded orange. Okay. So we are given 11 images each. So finally we are done. So we are let us train these images. Okay. Let us quickly go back to the project. So we have created some set of images in train. Okay, now let us learn. So you have to create learning model and then you have to test. So let us click on learn and test. Okay, so what have you done? You have collected how many images? 11 examples of apple and also 11 examples of orange. So here what's next? We have to start the computers training. Okay, we have to start the computers training. So let us click on this. Okay, so your training is started. So it will take 5 to 10 minutes to complete the training on the computer on the IBM cloud, which is configured to your account. Okay, so this machine learning for school kids, it is now connected with IBM cloud in the backend. So it will send a request to the IBM cloud saying that by using this API key, please train these images. Okay, so here what we have to do is we have to wait for little time. So before that, let me quickly go back. Let me click on projects, open link in new tab. So let me be ready with the data. Okay, so let us close everything now. I'm having the data in my training data set. All right, so I'm having this fruit classifier. Let me click on this. Let me click on train. So here the current model status is training, so we should get ready. Okay, so now it is in training, so it is one by one it is training on the IBM cloud. So let us copy the image address. Okay, and paste it. Okay, so let us select one random image from apple and also one random image from orange. So because we have to test. Okay, so I have selected one apple image and one orange image. Okay, so let me quickly go back to this and let me reload the page. Sometimes, you know, though the machine training was done, it will not show you here. So it is saying it was still in training. So let us wait for quick minutes. Okay, for quick 2 minutes. So I am ready with the testing data set. So I am ready with my apple image. If I pass this image after training, you know, that it has to identify as apple. Okay, if I pass this image, it has to identify as orange. Okay, so it is still in training. Let us okay, so the so this normally takes a few minutes. Okay, but can take a little longer if the training computer is very busy. So I hope, you know, the IBM cloud is not busy now, so that we wanted to wait until you see ready. Okay, so when you see ready, then only you can able to test these images. Okay, So this task will be very good. Okay, so if you train your images on the model, so training a few seconds ago. Okay, the training was started at 8:39 p.m. Now the time is 8:42. Still it is training. As today is the last day, I have to complete this task. Okay, so that is why I'm taking longer time. So it has to complete now. Training. If it is completed, it will take only 10 minutes to complete this task. Okay, now it is in training. So let us wait for a few minutes so that you can able to see ready here. So let me reload the page again. Training. Training. So we have to wait until the model is ready. Okay, if the model is ready, we are ready with the test images, right? So we can pass the test images to test this whether this model which is training now is working or not. If the model is working, then immediately we can quickly jump into app inventor with the package. So if we want to jump into the app inventor, our model has to be ready. So here the model status is training, so we have to get ready. So have anyone got ready here? If you got ready, please do let me know in the chat. So my status is training now, so it is taking some time. Did anyone got the status as ready? If you get the status as ready, then you can able to test your images. Okay, so if you are unable to pass the data set, okay, please look see the video and later you can do that. Okay, so there is no worries here because this video is recorded and streaming live. You can also do that later. Okay, if you are not able to do that now, you can also do it tomorrow. Okay, so for machine learning you should have a patience because it will take some time in order to train the model. So let us quickly recheck. So in regular intervals, please do recheck the model whether it is trained or not. So it is still training, so we have to wait for few more minutes. So this machine learning for kids, they will have the package called ML4K. So that ML4K package I will upload to App Inventor and quickly design that. Okay, so meanwhile let me jump into App Inventor and be ready with the new app and all. Okay, so let me click on my project. So let me create a new project called task 35, which is the final task of this bootcamp, and let us click OK. So here a new project will be created. So meanwhile let us check whether this is done or not. Where is this? So whether this model training is done or not. No, it is not yet done. So let us quickly do little things here. Okay, so let us have the label and also let us have the image picker. Okay, where is this image picker? Date picker is there. Media, image picker. Let us have image view. Okay, so and next media. From media let us have the text to speech. Okay, and let us have a button. Okay, let us have a button to classify. So let us arrange them all. So let us select label. So at label let us put 28. So let us put width to fill parent. So here machine learning task. So machine learning. So let us put center. Okay, let us put center. let us select Shan, and then let us have a little spacing. Okay, so let us go back to layout and put little spacing. So let us have this to fill parent. Okay, image picker, let us have 28. Let us put width to fill parent, and so instead of text for image picker 1, let us write load from gallery. Okay, load from gallery. Okay, and then let us have image view. Okay, so before that let us click on button 1, let us have 28. Okay, and let us have the text for button 1 as classify the image. Okay, classify image. So let us put that to fill parent in width. So in image, so let us have scale picture to fit. Let us put fill parent and height to fill parent. Okay, so here the thing is like, so when you click on load from gallery, so the gallery will open. So in the gallery we have to put some Apple images and orange images there. So when you select Apple image, so that Apple image has to be displayed in the image view. After that, you have to click on classify image button. So when you select classify image button, that image which has been selected, which has been displaying here, has to be passed to ML4K, which is this. Here we are training the model, right? Let us quickly reload whether we see whether it is done or not. Yeah, it is done. So you can able to see current model status is available. Up to what time? It is saying that model will be automatically deleted after August 2, which means in 24 hours. So this will be available after 24 hours. This will be deleted. Okay, so that is the thing there. So we can use it now, right? Because we are in between August 1 and August 2, right? So let us quickly check with the images. Okay, we are ready with the images. So let us quickly check. Okay, so here I have given Apple image. So when I click on test with www, it should say Apple. So recognized as Apple with a confidence of 92%. So in 92% it is saying it is Apple. So let me select the other image which has been selected randomly from the data set, and Control C, let me pass this image. Okay, when I pass this image, it has to identify as orange. Okay, so let me it is identified as orange with 92%. 92% means obviously high confidence, so it can able to predict. Okay, so testing, it is passed. We have given Apple image, so it is recognized as Apple. We have given orange image, it has recognized as orange, so the test was passed. So we should go back and we have to go for the third step, which is make. So here you have to click on make. So when you click on make, so here you go, here we go, there is app inventor. So this is the option that is available, or you can go for Scratch platform, or you can go for Scratch 3 or Python. So for us it is app inventor. Let's click on this app inventor. So when you click on this app inventor, it will be showing one URL. Okay, so this is a third party package. So I just wanted to show you this. For this we started this task, right? So let me copy this URL. Okay, and you have to go back to app inventor, and you have to click on extension, import extension, URL. You have to paste that URL here and click import. So when you click import, then immediately you can able to see the package will be imported here. So you can able to see a package called ML4K component. Okay, so this is a third party component which is not default. So this component we have achieved from this platform, right? After passing your results. Okay, so what is the result here? When you pass Apple image, it has identified as Apple. When you pass orange image, it has identified as orange. No, it was passed. So now what we have to do, we have to use this component. Okay, let me drag this component onto the screen. So here we have to pass the key. Okay, what is the key? Let us see the key here. Okay, so key is nothing but this. Okay, key is nothing but from here to here. This is called key. Okay, let us copy that key from after this to here. Okay, you can see my page. So let me copy that key here. So when I copy that key, so it can able to access my platform. So text to speech, we have to select India, right? So everything is done, and just 5 minutes we can able to see the result on the app inventor. Okay, let us quickly jump into the backend. So we have installed this ML4K component, which is a third party extension in the app inventor. So I just wanted to show you how to have a third party extension here. Okay, so let me select button. So before button, let me click on image picker. Okay, so after picking, what I have to do, I have to set the image, right? I have to set the image. Where is this picture 2? Selection. So after this, we have to check the ML4K components. Okay, so here we have to classify. Okay, where is this classify image? Yes, here. So this has to be called when button 1 is clicked. Okay, so when button 1 is clicked, you have to call this. Okay, so here you have to select the same path, isn't it? So here let us have text to speech inside. Let us put text inside this. Okay, so here let us say image was picked. Okay, image was picked. So let me do duplicate of this and let me put it inside. Okay, so calling classifier. So the classifier will be called when the button is clicked. Okay, so here there are a few more things has to be done. Next thing is, let me click on the status. Okay, when the classification is done, so when it identifies apple and orange, okay, then what you have to do, you have to call the text to speech engine there. Okay, so here let us delete this. So here you have to put the what is there, with classification data confidence. So let us put classification, or let us put some label. Okay, let's do with this. So meanwhile, let us download this apple image on the mobile phone, because we need a gallery, right? So let me download the images of apple. Not only this, you can download any image which is related to. So here let me download the images, apple images, onto the mobile phone. Okay, so I'm just downloading the apple images from Google Images. You can download any image, okay, which is apple. So let me download the image. Let me download. Okay, so I have downloaded apple image. So let me also download orange image. So I'm just downloading the apple image and orange image. Okay, so I have downloaded it. Now let me scan the QR code of my AI companion. Okay, so let me click on connect. So I have downloaded the images on the mobile phone gallery because I wanted to import the image from gallery. Generally we don't have this apple and orange in the gallery, right? So we have to download it. So now the application is getting downloaded into the mobile screen. Yes, so let me click on load from gallery. So gallery, just once, download, let me pass image.
Image was picked.
So image was picked, you can able to hear it. So let me click on classify image.
Calling classifier.
Okay,
Apple.
so it is saying apple. Again I'm calling classifier.
Calling classifier. Apple.
So I have given apple image, so it is saying apple. So let me quickly pass orange image also. Okay,
Image was picked. Calling classifier. Orange.
so I have given orange image, so it has said orange. So when I am passing apple image, it is said apple. So this is the task which is 35, a little bit complicated when you compare with the remaining tasks, but very helpful for you if you are an engineering grad. So this task will be very helpful for the students who are in the second year or third year. For final year projects also sometimes people do on machine learning and artificial intelligence, right? So this is like we have created a mobile application which acts like a classifier. Okay, which acts like a classifier where it can able to classify the images where the images are in the gallery. Okay, if you have an apple fruit with you right away, you can use camera also, but as of now I don't have any apple and orange fruits with me. So that is why I have downloaded images from gallery, and then I started uploading from gallery to the app, and I am just passing the data to the classifier, and the classifier is able to classify the data there. So I am done with task 35. So you can also check that out. So this task is little bit complicated, so you can also have a practice on this. So as the video is recorded, you can do when you have time, if you are not doing right now. So thanks for joining me in this boot camp. So this is the final task which is on machine learning. So thank you for joining me today. So from tomorrow there will be no class, right? So today is the last class. So I was very happy for being associated with all of you on app development bootcamp. So we started with basic apps, and then we discussed about a lot of components available in the App Inventor Designer, and then slowly we have discussed about how to do mobile apps for IoT, and then today we have discussed about how to do applications related with database, and also we have concluded the bootcamp with the task 35, which is nothing but which is related to machine learning and artificial intelligence. So where our mobile application is able to classify the data which is passed from the gallery to the application there. So thank you. I wish, please don't stop doing. Okay, please keep building applications which you feel it is needed for you to understand, and which is having a pain. So I wish you very all the best and good luck for your future. Keep doing things, and keep following us on the YouTube channel. So if there is any tutorials, you will get the video tutorials directly to your email ID, and keep participating in the quizzes. Okay, so I guess only few students have participated in the quiz, so I request each and everyone to participate in the quiz, because you will be getting certificates only when you get a quiz certificate. Okay, so I guess there are 120 students who have been registered for this bootcamp. People are not coming live, but people are watching the video when they have time, because videos are recorded, right? So when the videos are recorded, obviously it is a flexible option for the students to watch this video even afterwards, right? So that is the best thing when we go for online. So when we go for offline classes, so when you miss the class, you cannot have a record of it, right? But when you go for online classes, so that is the flexibility which is been there. So you can watch as many times it is needed, and you can go through it as many times you need. And if you miss the class, then also you can follow the video and you can do the task. So if you have any queries, you can put me in the WhatsApp group. Okay, so the fellow members will answer you, or else I will answer you if it is needed. So please complete all the quizzes by tomorrow evening, because we will be preparing we will be preparing all the certificates and letter of recommendations based on the quiz score. Okay, so make sure that you are done with quiz. Okay, so that will help us in understanding the outcome of the program. So we have built almost 35 different types of tasks in the bootcamp. So it was pretty good, because as it is a beginning level, okay, as it is a beginning level of the mobile app development. So we just started with basics, and then we slowly jumped into some intermediate things. Okay, we will be organizing a series of events. So maybe in the next event I'll talk about App Inventor in depth, with the different types of tasks associated with it. So as of now, I just wanted to conclude this bootcamp. So I would like to thank all the participants who are registered and participated in this event, and also I wanted to thank the Department of ECE and also the Raghu Institute of Technology IEEE student branch for coming forward to organize and coordinate this event. So I just wanted to thank the coordinators, organizers, mainly Shantaram. So he was the guy who is in touch with me always, and all the other fellow members of IEEE student branch of RIT. So I wish you all the best and good luck, and we will be always there with you in order to support all kinds of activities related to student branch out there. So the other college students, not only from Raghu Institute of Technology, we have the other college students also. So thank you everyone for being actively participated in all these events. So we'll be back with a new set of episodes. Okay, so thank you, good night, have a nice day.